Ciao ragazzi, welcome to another video. And in this one, I want to tell you about a training app I used with my smart trainer that kept me active and motivated over the winter. I joined in all kinds of group rides, workouts, and other times, I just jumped on a ride. The best thing about this app? It's free. That's right, free. What app am I talking about? RGT. Don't panic, I stopped the video. I wanted to tell you something about it before I go on. I was just about to release a video on YouTube when Wahoo, the maker of smart trainers, made an announcement that they bought RGT. I thought I was going to have to scrap my video, but Wahoo didn't make any changes to the app, except for a new logo and some artwork. When you're watching this video, I just want to make you aware that you may see some screen grabs from the older version of RGT. At the same time of the RGT announcement, Wahoo introduced a few things that make RGT even better. I've put that info at the end of the video. Feel free to jump to that part using the chapters in the description below. But if you do that, you won't watch the whole video and you'll hurt my feelings. Okay, let me rewind the video here, right about there. I'll start it up. Enjoy. What app am I talking about? Wahoo RGT. There is a paid version, but this video will show you all you can do with the free version. Before I begin the video, I wanted to let you know I'm not being sponsored or paid anything by Wahoo RGT to make this video. These are my own thoughts and opinions about the app. Okay, let's get into it. The first thing I want to talk about is the user interface. I like it. It's easy to use and very intuitive. At first glance, you start using the app and you notice all the menus and buttons are really big. You'd almost think it's designed for people that need bifocals. But you really come to appreciate the design when you're using the app on a phone or a tablet. If you choose to use a computer and a mouse, it's just as easy to navigate with. Let's move on to how you can customize the app. First off, you can change what you look like in the virtual world. And you know you want to look good, right? You can change the kit. There's over 100 different styles of kits representing different teams. There's all kinds of different colors. And they do add new kits from time to time. You can choose the kind of bike you want to ride. There are all kinds of bikes, different colors, brands, frame types. I don't know if the kind of bike you choose makes a difference. I tried several of the bikes on RGT and I never noticed any difference, bad or good, in my training performance. Next you have the helmet, and you can select different style of helmet, color, to match your kit if you want to do that. You can also choose different sunglasses. There's different shapes and colors. And finally, the avatar. That's what you look like, so you can choose if you're male, female. There's also selections for different skin colors. Another thing you can customize, and I really like, is that you can put all kinds of data on the screen while you're out riding. Let me show you. So in the lower left, we have the rider list, and you can see how many riders, the rider's name, and a flag they decided to represent their nationality. Now, you might not recognize the country for this flag, and you shouldn't. This flag represents a bot, and that's short for robot. You see, in RGT, what they've done is they've made these computer simulated cyclists that ride alongside you, or you can ride with them and they can pace you along. Now, I'm not a fan of the bots. I got nothing against them. I go to coffee with them. My problem is they just don't work for me when I'm riding in RGT. I'll explain as the video goes along. Next thing on the list is the watt rating, and you can see how far they are from you. So you can see if they're behind you or in front of you and stuff like that. Then above it are the values from your trainer. So you get power, cadence, and heart rate from your heart rate monitor. And below it, it'll calculate your watt rating. And here you'll get a graph of how consistent you are with your wattage and if it goes up and down and all that kind of stuff. Like I said, lots of data. And in the top right-hand corner, we have the distance slope window. It tells you the speed you're riding, the slope of the hill you're climbing, how long you've been riding on the course. It gives you a little graphic and shows where you are in relation to everybody else. It also tells you the distance you've traveled, how much more distance you have to do on this route, and how many meters you've climbed. Now let's look at the bottom of the screen, and what you're seeing here is the elevation of the whole route. So you can find out where the hills are, where the descents are, and all that kind of good stuff. And then there's one more that I usually don't enable. I'm not really a fan of it. It's a top view of the map. And what it does is shows you the whole circuit like this. Have a quick look there, and it'll have a dot pinpointing where you are. I'm not a fan of it. I usually don't use it very much, but there are people that like it. And there's one other thing, there's a chat window. It pops up over here. Now I want to move on to what I really like doing in Wahoo RGT, and that's the training. Here we're going to see a few restrictions, but it's not what you think. Let's start up the app. And here's the new logo for RGT, now called Wahoo RGT. Now once you log in, with the free version you end up on this nag screen for about 5 seconds. They try to encourage you to take on a full subscription, and they also advertise some of the other products they have, like a Wahoo system. Now what I've heard is for one price you can use both Wahoo system and Wahoo RGT with the same login. Alright, the nag screen's timed out. Let's get into the training app. Right away you see all this information in the lower half of the screen, and you'll notice that it changes from time to time when you log in. It's like a newsletter. I find it to be really helpful. I look out for events that I might want to join up, and other times RGT uses it to make announcements about changes to the app. Let's move up to the top of the screen, and this is where all the action takes place. First up we have menu, and this is where you do the customizations I mentioned earlier on in the video. You can also make changes to your account. You can add sensors. This is where you add your trainer, heart rate sensor, and all that kind of good stuff. Now if you're using Wahoo RGT in Android and you're having trouble connecting your Bluetooth sensors, or if you're using any cycling app in Android and you're having trouble with Bluetooth, I made this video here with some quick tips to help you get that solved. I'll link it in the description below, or you can click in the top right hand corner of the screen to get to it. I know, shameless plug for my own videos. I'll move on to Just Ride. Here we have recreations of roads that you can ride and experience from different parts of the world. Places like Canary Wharf, Passo del Stelvio from Italy, Mont Ventoux from France. With the free version, you can only use 2 of these rides. The rest are for paid members. Now you're probably thinking to yourself, it's the free version, it can't be that good. Not so. Let me show you one that was free a few months ago by the name of Pienza. This is the same version paid subscribers use, with all the bells and whistles, and you can use it for as long as you like. When you click on the ride, you get to this information page. If you look at the left-hand side, it tells you the location of the ride, the length of the loop, the total elevation for the loop, and it gives you an average percentage grade, and then that's a nice little description of what the place is really like. Now if you go over to the right-hand side of the screen, you'll notice a slide control and elevation. You can actually take that slide control and start the route anywhere you want. So if you want to start up on an uphill, just move the slider control where the elevation indicates an uphill, and that's where you'll start. Now I want to draw your attention to a button just above here that says Riders. When you click on it, you can see how many riders are on the loop. One thing you're going to notice right away, there's a lot of bot flags. So that indicates that the majority of people on this route are not real, they're actually robots. Now, I got nothing against the bots, like I said earlier. I'd like to go out to coffee with them. Hey, if any one of you guys have been out with the bots for coffee during a ride or after, why don't you comment below and let us know how it went? What are they really like? All kidding aside. The reason why I think Wahoo RGT has all these bots on their rides is they just don't have enough users on the platform at the moment, but they still want to showcase what it can do. So they have the bots roaming around on the routes, and you can get a feel of what it's like with other riders. I've tried to use the bots as pace partners, but they're at too an elite level for me, and they burn me out so quickly. With Wahoo's takeover of RGT, I'm hoping that changes and more users come to the platform, diminishing the need for these bots. Let me show you what the ride looks like. I'll hit the Ride Now button, and we'll get it started. Here's the load-up screen, and we're in Pienza. The people at Wahoo RGT have done a very good job recreating the small town. Have a look at this split screen and judge for yourself. Wahoo RGT representation on the left, and the Google Street View of the real thing on the right. Overall, pretty accurate. The buildings are all there. You can see the old wall of the city there, vegetation like trees and the grass. The one thing I did notice, in the real world, there seems to be more parked cars. What can you do? Well, let me show you how the thing looks when you're riding on it. Just like any other app, you start pedaling and you're off. Wahoo RGT has a few extra controls you can use while you're riding to enhance your experience. Let me go over some of them briefly. To get to these features, when you're out on a session, tap on the screen and you see them at the bottom for easy access. The first one changes how you see the rider on the screen. You can do like a drone view, you can do a race view. You just change it to whatever you like to see on the screen. The next one, I could not figure out what it does. It says turn around. I've tried it in every one of the events, on a race, all kinds of stuff. I just couldn't get it to work. I mean, there's not even a mention of it in the help file. The next one is to wave, and you can wave at a rider who comes by you. You can also look behind you, that's the next button. And finally, there's the chat button. It starts up the chat window, and you can join the chat that's ongoing when you're riding. But this is not the training that attracts me to this software. It's the next one I'm going to go into called Events. Events training is the thing I like most about RGT because of its social and competitive aspect of riding with others. I know I don't have a chance of winning a race, but that's not my goal. I'm not a bike racer. I'm just a weekend club rider who needs to find a way to stay in shape over the winter. What I need is motivation instead of lounging around all winter waiting for summer. By signing up and committing to an event, something psychological happens to me. I feel like I have to get ready for it by training. I train when I have spare time during the week on, if you can believe it, my Garmin cycling computer, doing intervals and drills, getting ready, watching YouTube videos in preparation for the weekend event on RGT. It really helps me stay motivated and maintain a level of fitness. I know there's Zwift, but this one's free. As you can see, there's a wide selection of events like rides, races, time trials, and every so often, you'll find a themed challenge that goes on for several weeks. I don't know if you've noticed, but you'll see the same events multiple times. That's a good thing. If you miss an event you wanted to try, no need to worry. There's another one happening later that day or sometime during the week. The other thing you probably noticed is the elephant in the room. There aren't a lot of riders signed up for events during the week. I've noticed myself, most people join up for weekend events. The lack of users and the use of bots, as I mentioned earlier, really hurt this app. But maybe with the help of Wahoo, things will change soon. Getting on a ride is pretty easy. Let's have a look at one of these event tiles. And right off the bat, you can see it's a race that's going to happen on March the 9th at 2:30 p.m. The circuit's 19 kilometers. The elevation's about 140 meters. And currently, there's 16 riders signed up for this. If you want to get more details about the ride or you want to sign up for it, click on the tile and all the details are here. Since events are my favorite thing to do on RGT, I thought it would be the best activity to give you my impressions about how the app feels. Signing up is pretty painless and easy. Just hit the start button, it loads up, and you're at the start line. A quick tip, make sure you log in early. It'll give you a chance to warm up a bit and make sure you have everything you'll need for the event. If you have any issues with your trainer, your bike, or you forget something like your water bottle, you can get it all sorted out before the race starts. There's nothing more frustrating than having something go wrong when the race starts, everyone takes off, and you're left behind trying to figure out what the heck happened. Well, when you do get started, the ride feel uphill, downhill, and on the flats using my Wahoo Kickr feels like many of the other apps I've tried. One thing I didn't notice was the physics modeling feature that RGT boasts about. It's there to create a more realistic cycling experience by doing things like slowing you down when you're taking corners, or if you get too close to other riders in front of you, just like if you were braking. It's also supposed to do something with your power numbers when you're on the road that I really can't understand or explain. Although, that might explain this weird thing that happened to me when I was drafting in a group. The drafting simulation is not that bad. You can see me here with another rider who decided to wear the GCN kit. Hey, might be one of those GCN celebrities I was riding with. Ooh. We were taking rotations from the rear. When I was behind the rider, I could feel the trainer ease up on resistance just like in the real world. Whenever I had to take my turn pulling, this is when I had a problem. I had to really accelerate hard to get ahead of the rider. In real life, I never have to put in near as much effort to get ahead of the rider I'm with. What ends up happening in the app is it looks like you're trying to take off from the group you're with, and that's not the case. Maybe that's the RGT physics kicking in? I'm not sure. There's another thing I want to mention that happened to me in the race. Check this out. I'm riding, and all of a sudden the app shut down. I have no idea what happened, whether there was an issue with my tablet or an issue with the RGT app. Regardless, I hurried back on, signed in, and the RGT app put me back into the race at approximately the same place I got booted out. It's not a big deal for me as I wasn't in the race to win it, but it might be a bit different for someone who is there to win. Let's move on to workouts. Here you'll find free structured workouts that focus on endurance, aerobic capacity, VO2, and FTP testing. Just click on the workout you want to do, and you can adjust the intensity to suit your needs. Wait for it to load up, and start pedaling. To guide you along, you'll notice a status window in the upper section of the screen. It provides you an overview of the training and will show you the suggested power you're expected to maintain at different stages of the workout. If you go over or below the suggested power, an arrow will indicate if you should speed up or slow down your pedaling. They're decent workouts that you can do anytime. In a nutshell, that's what you get for free with Wahoo RGT. Or is it? Now I think is a good time to talk about the Wahoo takeover of RGT. When Wahoo made the announcement that they bought out RGT, it was done in conjunction with the product launch of Wahoo X. I got confused and thought RGT was renamed Wahoo X. It took me a while to figure out what Wahoo X is or does. I came to learn that it's a new product name for a package of training apps that includes SYSTM and RGT as a bundle. You still have to download each one separately as before. When they announced Wahoo X, I wanted to make sure they didn't make any changes to RGT. So I went onto the RGT website and there still is a free version. But now that they're a Wahoo company, the word free isn't good enough. True to form, the marketing linguists at RGT who brought you product names such as System, Kickr, and Element now bring you a new product name for the word free? Freemium. I got to thinking, when they announced Wahoo X, and they made a big point about being able to use the same login for RGT and Wahoo System, does Wahoo System have a freemium version? When you go onto the System website, there's no mention of any free stuff. The only free thing that's mentioned anywhere is a 14-day trial. My curiosity got the best of me, so I downloaded Wahoo System and logged in with my RGT username and password. I browsed the app and found all kinds of free training videos, some from the likes of GCN, others from Sufferfest, along with some structured workouts that kind of overlap some of the stuff you get in RGT. What I was surprised to see for free is the full frontal 4DP test made famous by Sufferfest. It's a grueling 58-minute FTP test, and take it from me, it's not something you want to do on a weekly basis. I've tried it, and it took me days and days to recover from it. It's better you do it from time to time to gauge how your training is progressing and what you need to work on. One of the free workout videos I like is a trip to the Velodrome with Coach Neil Henderson. I never thought going around in circles could be so much fun. You can also sample some of System's yoga and mental training workouts. Now that System, along with RGT, have freemium offerings, Wahoo's making it easy for people to try their products with nothing to lose. I don't know what plans Wahoo has for freemium. Are they going to keep it around to entice people to use and try out their products? Or will they do away with it altogether in a few months? Are the freemium offerings enough to make you want to give Wahoo X a try? Let's get a discussion going and comment below. Love to hear your thoughts, good or bad, about RGT or Wahoo's move to buy them out. Thanks for watching, and if you liked the video, why don't you show your appreciation? Smash that like button below. We'll see you soon.